5 years ago, I met Anna at a mutual friend's barbecue. She was laughing with a glass of wine in her hand, her dark hair catching the late summer light, and something about her pulled me in immediately. We talked for hours that night about everything and nothing. Books, travel dreams, the way she hated olives but loved extra cheese on pizza. By the end of the week, we were inseparable. She told me early on that she had a 4-year-old daughter, Lily, from a bad marriage that had ended in heartbreak. I didn't hesitate. I wanted all of it, the package deal. We moved in together within a year. I watched Lily grow from a shy kindergartner into a bright, chatty 12-year-old who called me Dad without prompting. I was there for every school play, every parent-teacher conference, every scraped knee and bedtime story. Anna and I built a life that felt solid. We bought a 3-bedroom house with a backyard big enough for Lily's swing set. We took weekend trips to the coast, held hands during sunset walks, and made love like we were still newlyweds. She was affectionate, thoughtful, surprising me with handwritten notes in my lunch bag, planning candlelit dinners when Lily was at sleepovers. Anna worked as a regional sales consultant for a pharmaceutical company. The job paid well, which allowed me to cut back my hours as a project manager and be more present at home. Her schedule meant occasional overnight trips, 2 or 3 days at a time, sometimes a full week for conferences. I never questioned it. I'd drive her to the airport, kiss her goodbye, and count the hours until she returned. While she was away, I'd handle everything. School runs, meals, homework. Lily and I developed our own routines. Pizza Fridays, movie marathons with too much popcorn. When Anna came home, she'd bring small gifts. A keychain for me, a stuffed animal for Lily, chocolates from whatever city she'd visited. We'd fall into bed together, her skin warm from travel, whispering how much we'd missed each other. There were moments, tiny ones, that I overlooked. She'd come back exhausted, quieter than usual, scrolling her phone late into the night. I'd ask if everything was okay, and she'd smile, say the meetings ran long, the flights were delayed. I'd pull her close and believe her because I wanted to. Trust was the foundation of us. She'd say it herself, tracing circles on my chest. You're the only man I've ever fully trusted. Felt the same. We renewed our vows privately on our 3rd anniversary. Just the two of us on a secluded beach, promising honesty above all else. Lily thrived in our little world. She started calling Anna's trips Mom's Adventures, and would draw pictures for her to take along. On the nights before Anna left, we'd have family game nights. Board games spread across the living room floor, laughter echoing until bedtime. I'd look at them, my wife and my daughter, and feel like the luckiest man alive. Life wasn't perfect, no marriages, but it was ours, built on love and commitment. I never imagined that foundation could crack, let alone shatter completely. Those trips were just part of the job, part of providing the life we all enjoyed. Or so I thought. It started with something small, the kind of detail most people would ignore. Anna was packing for another trip, this one to Chicago, 3 nights for a regional sales conference. I was folding laundry in the bedroom when I noticed her sliding a red lace negligee into the suitcase, the one she'd worn on our last anniversary. I laughed and asked if she was planning to seduce the clients. She rolled her eyes, said it made her feel confident under the business suits, and kissed me to shut me up. I let it go, but the image stuck. That night, after Lily was asleep, I picked up Anna's phone to check the weather app for her flight. It was unlocked, she never hid it from me. A notification flashed from a contact saved as Mark Team Lead. The preview read, "Can't wait for tomorrow night. Room 1214 again." My stomach dropped. I opened the thread. Dozens of messages going back months. Flirty banter about late-night strategy sessions. Heart emojis, explicit lines about what they'd do once the meetings ended. I scrolled until my hands shook. Photos too, her in hotel mirrors, him shirtless with a grin. I didn't sleep. By morning I was calm enough to act normal, dropping her at the airport like always. The second her plane took off, I started digging. Her itinerary email said she was staying at the Hilton downtown. I called the front desk, gave her name. No reservation. I checked her shared location on the family app. It was turned off for the first time ever. Flight records showed she had booked to Chicago, but a connecting ticket to Miami under a work expense code. Miami, where Mark lived. I told myself there could be explanations. Maybe a last-minute change. Maybe I was paranoid. But the messages burned in my mind. I hired a private investigator that same day. Cash, no questions. While waiting for his report, I went through our bank statements. Charges for hotels I didn't recognize. Dinners for two at places we'd never visited together. Uber rides late at night in cities she claimed to be alone in. One receipt from a jewelry store. $800 on a necklace she never wore at home. I tried confronting her lightly when she called that evening, all sweet and tired from a long day of presentations. I mentioned the Hilton mix-up. She hesitated, then said the company switched venues for a better rate. Forgot to update me. Her voice was smooth, practiced. I asked about Mark. She laughed it off. Just a coworker, babe, you're being silly. But I heard the edge underneath. Lily noticed I was off. She asked why I wasn't eating dinner. I forced smiles, helped with her math homework, tucked her in. Alone again, I read more hidden emails I'd accessed through our shared cloud backup. Plans for entire weekends disguised as work trips. Love declarations that mocked every promise Anna had ever made to me. It had been going on for 14 months. 14. By the time the PI sent preliminary photos, Anna and Mark arm in arm leaving a Miami restaurant, her head on his shoulder. I wasn't even shocked anymore. Just hollow. I booked a flight for her next trip 2 weeks later. This time I wouldn't wait for proof. I'd see it myself. Whatever was left of our life depended on the truth. And I was done living in the lie. 2 weeks later, Anna kissed me goodbye for what she called a 4-day conference in Boston. I smiled, waved her off, then drove straight to the airport myself and boarded the same flight. She never noticed me in economy while she sat up front. We landed, she took a cab to a boutique hotel downtown. The Langham, not the conference venue listed on her itinerary. I followed in another cab, heart pounding the entire way. I waited in the lobby bar, nursing a drink I didn't taste. Around 7, she came down in a black dress I'd never seen. Hair loose, makeup perfect. Mark met her, tall, smug, the guy from the photos. They kissed like lovers who didn't care who saw. His hand low on her back. They headed to the elevator. I followed 2 cars behind to the 12th floor, watched them enter room 1218. I stood outside the door long enough to hear laughter, then the unmistakable sounds that followed. Proof wasn't needed anymore. It was carved into me. I used the hotel app on my phone to book the room next door, checked in quietly, and pressed my ear to the wall for an hour. Every moan, every whispered, "I love you," was a knife. When they finally left for dinner, I slipped into their room with a spare key I'd bribed a housekeeper for, long enough to photograph the bed, the scattered clothes, the open bottle of wine with 2 glasses. I took her laptop from the safe. She still used our wedding date as the password, and downloaded the folder labeled M. Hundreds of messages, hotel confirmations, plans for a future that didn't include me or Lily. They returned around 11. I waited until the lights dimmed, then knocked hard on the connecting door. Anna opened it in a robe, face draining of color when she saw me. Mark stood behind her, shirt unbuttoned, confused. I didn't yell at first. I just held up my phone and played a short audio clip I'd recorded through the wall. Her voice sang his name in a way she'd stopped saying mine months ago. She crumpled. Tears instant, apologies spilling out. It started as comfort on lonely trips, turned into more. She never meant to hurt me, she was going to end it. Mark tried to speak. I told him to shut up or I'd break his jaw. He backed off. Anna begged me to keep it quiet for Lily's sake. Promised counseling, swore she'd change. Asked how long. 14 months, she admitted. How many trips? Almost all of them. Did Lily know? Her silence was answer enough. Lily had overheard phone calls, covered for her mom with small lies about where Anna really was. I looked at the woman I'd loved for 5 years and felt nothing but disgust. Every romantic memory, the beach vows, the notes, the passionate reunions, was built on this. I told her the marriage was over. She screamed that I couldn't just throw her out, that we had a daughter. I said Lily deserved better than a mother who taught her deception was acceptable. I packed Anna's suitcase myself while she sobbed on the bed. Threw in Mark's clothes too for good measure. Security escorted them out when she refused to leave quietly. I flew home alone that night. The house felt empty before they even returned. When Anna walked in the next afternoon with her tail between her legs, pleading for one more chance, I handed her the printed photos, the message logs, the divorce papers I'd had drawn up overnight. I told her to pack whatever she and Lily needed for now. She had until morning to leave. She called me cruel. I said betrayal was cruel. This was consequence. Lily stood in the hallway, eyes red, asking why I was making them go. I knelt down, told her I loved her, that this wasn't her fault, but grown-ups who lie can't stay in a home built on trust. Anna tried to hug her. Lily pulled away. That was the moment I knew I'd done the right thing. By dawn they were gone. I changed the locks before lunch. The silence hurt, but for the first time in months, it felt honest. Anna and Lily left at sunrise. I stood on the porch and watched their car disappear down the street, Anna's hands tight on the wheel, Lily's face turned away in the passenger seat. I didn't wave. By noon the locks were changed, the alarm code reset, and the divorce attorney had everything. The photos, the message logs, the hotel receipts. Anna tried calling 23 times that first day. I let them all go to voicemail. Her messages started with tears and promises, ended with accusations that I was destroying Lily's life. I saved every one for the lawyer. The house was too quiet. Lily's drawings still hung on the fridge, her backpack by the door. I left them there for a week, then boxed them carefully and dropped them at Anna's sister's place where they were staying temporarily. Lily wouldn't look at me when I handed over the box. That cut deeper than anything Anna had done. I started therapy the following Monday. The counselor said betrayal trauma was real, that anger and grief would come in waves. She was right. Some nights I punched pillows until my knuckles bled. Others I sat on the floor staring at our wedding album, wondering how I missed every sign. Friends rallied once I told them the truth. Most said I was right to end it immediately. No second chances for repeated, calculated lies. A few suggested counseling first, but when I showed them the evidence, they went quiet. I posted the story anonymously on Reddit's AITA forum a month later, needing outside perspective. Thousands of comments poured in within hours. Not the asshole, overwhelmingly. Strangers validated what I already knew. Staying would have taught Lily that betrayal was tolerable if you cried hard enough afterward. Anna fought the divorce at first, demanding half the house, alimony, shared custody framed as if nothing had happened. The judge saw the documentation and granted primary custody to me, with supervised visitation for her until Lily's therapist recommended otherwise. Anna moved 2 hours away with Mark eventually. He left his wife too, once everything exploded. Last I heard, their great love was already cracking under real life. I didn't care enough to follow the details. 6 months passed before Lily asked to come for a weekend. She was quieter, more guarded, but we talked, really talked. I never badmouthed Anna. I just answered honestly when Lily asked questions. Therapy helped her too. Slowly, she started staying longer, then moved back full-time a year after the split. She said she missed the stability, missed feeling safe. We rebuilt routines. Pizza Fridays returned, movie nights too, just the two of us at first, then with friends. I dated once or twice, nothing serious. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. But I took a solo trip to the coast, the same spot where Anna and I had renewed vows. I walked the beach alone at sunset, felt the wind, and realized the pain had dulled to a scar, not an open wound. I was 38, financially secure, healthier than I'd been in years from gym routines born of rage. Lily was thriving in school again, making new friends, talking about college someday. Looking back, I don't regret kicking them out. Forgiveness without accountability is just permission. Anna's affair didn't just break our marriage. It exposed the truth that it had been one-sided for far too long. I lost a wife that day, but I kept my self-respect and gave my daughter a chance at honesty. Am I the asshole for refusing to live in a lie?
Well,
I'm the man who chose truth over comfort, and I'm finally at peace with that choice. Life isn't the fairy tale I thought it was 5 years ago, but it's real, and for the first time in a long while it's mine.